Absolutely. And thank you very much for having me on today. I think it's really important that the new government absolutely publish a plan and publish it within hours or days to support business, and particularly small and medium-sized businesses who are really struggling. Many have seen their costs rise so significantly. We have manufacturers whose costs have gone up fourfold. We have pubs who've gone up to 10 times. It is unprecedented in business in the UK, and therefore the policy response must be very clear and very quick, and it will be on the scale of COVID.
Baroness, what about the argument that will come from others that business and consumers also have to bear some burden, but maybe the government can figure out how to distribute that evenly? Because I'm sure that there are some of your members who could actually afford to pay more and some businesses that might struggle. And many will perhaps argue that with this new administration, we have an opportunity to reset the clock and perhaps encourage businesses and individuals to be a bit more self-reliant.
I completely understand and respect that point of view. What I would say is that what we absolutely need right now is a scale of support on the scale of COVID. As an example, we have asked for emergency loans for companies that do qualify. Of course, there's got to be a process to put organisations through to make sure they definitely do need the money. We, of course, have to become more self-reliant, but that's an ask of the UK government towards long-term energy independence so that we are never faced with a situation again. That is not something small and medium-sized businesses can control. All they can control is the here and now, and for many of them, this winter is a disaster.
Baroness, may I ask you what some of the businesses you're talking to are saying about pricing expectations? The reason this comes up is we had an analyst earlier on the show who was saying that he thinks we've reached the limit of where European companies can succeed at raising prices and passing on those price increases to consumers. What is the perception from the British consumer industry, and how successful have British companies actually been at passing on these higher costs to consumers?
Yeah. Most of our members in the last year have already passed on significant costs. If you take a look at inflation and where it's been running, you know, we have manufacturers who are telling us steel has gone up 10 times alone in price, as an example. So they have tried to pass on what they can, and many are saying they will still have to raise prices further. But there is a limit to that, because there is only so much that is affordable, where consumers will say, yes, we will continue to purchase said items. You can see a real risk of a real cutback in consumer spending because of more price rises. And clearly, many of our members feel they're already reaching that limit, which is why we're asking for support now. It's the last thing we want. Nobody wants more government bailouts, but we don't really have a choice today.
Since Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced his resignation in early July, sterling has been the worst performing currency among the G10. It's down more than 4% versus the dollar, challenging UK business even further. How is the business community dealing with this weaker pound, and how does that affect their business decisions?
The challenge that gives us is the ability for companies to invest in the future and what they can invest. And what we need are businesses investing in the future of their propositions, creating employment, creating opportunities. And we can absolutely do that, but we've been faced with such a level of cost increases across the board, with so many challenges, from COVID to global supply chain challenges, to a weaker pound, to now the energy crisis, that we now need unprecedented help. But I believe that if we are given that, and if there's also a commitment to long-term energy independence and a commitment to dealing with that, then business will be in a good place in the UK.
Baroness, thank you so much for your time this morning. Baroness Ruby McGregor-Smith, President, British Chamber of Commerce. Still ahead on street signs, Volkswagen says it will list its sports car brand Porsche as early as this month. We'll discuss more after this break.